Namaskar, myself Anil Kumar, and today we are going to discuss about LEI, that is Legal Entity Identifier. The introduction about LEI, that is the Reserve Bank of India RBI introduced LEI code for large corporate borrowers under the section 20 and 35A of Banking Regulation Act 1949. The LEI, that is Legal Entity Identifier Code, is conceived as a key measure to improve the quality and accuracy of financial data systems for better risk management post the global financial crisis. LEI is a 20-digit unique code to identify parties to financial transactions worldwide. It has been decided to require banks to make it mandatory for corporate borrowers having aggregate fund-based and non-fund-based exposure of rupees 5 crore and above from any bank to obtain LEI registration and capture the same in CRILC, that is CRILC, Central Repository of Information on Large Credits. This will facilitate assessment of aggregate borrowing by corporate groups and monitoring of the financial profile of an entity or group. This requirement will be implemented in a calibrated but time-bound manner. The Legal Entity Identifier LEI is a global reference number that uniquely identifies every legal entity or structure that is party to a financial transaction in any jurisdiction. In India, LEI code may be obtained from Legal Entity Identifier India Limited LEIIL, a subsidiary of Clearing Corporation of India Limited CCIL, which has been recognized by Reserve Bank as issuer of LEI under the Payment and Settlement Systems Act 2007 and is accredited by GLEIF, Global Legal Entity Identifier Foundation, as the LOU, Local Operating Unit in India for issuance and management of LEI, that is LEIIL. LEIL will assign LEIs to any legal entity, including but not limited to all intermediary institutions, banks, mutual funds, partnership companies, trust, holdings, special purpose vehicles, asset management companies, and all other institutions being parties to financial transactions. LEI will be assigned on application from the legal entity and after due validation of data. For the organization, LEI will serve as a proof of identity for a financial entity, help to abide by the regulatory requirements, facilitate transaction reporting to trade repositories. In April 2021, it was advised that all single payment transactions of rupees 50 crore and above undertaken by entities, non-individuals, should include remitter and beneficiary LEI information. This is applicable to transactions undertaken through NEFT, that is National Electronic Fund Transfer, and RTGS, real-time gross settlement payment systems. In case of RTGS, both customer payment and interbank transactions meeting the above criteria should include LEI information. It is not necessary for government or their department to obtain LEI or mention LEI number for payment transactions in NEFT and RTGS. LEI is not required for the customer transactions where both remitter and beneficiary are individuals. For the transactions where either or both parties are non-individuals, LEI will be required. An authorized dealer bank must record valid LEI for cross-border transactions of rupees 50 crore INR and more undertaken through it on or after October 2022. Post this, the authorized dealer bank must report the valid LEI for all cross-border transactions irrespective of the value of the transactions. However, if the AD bank already has a valid LEI of the entity, it must report it for all transactions irrespective of whether the entity has undertaken a transaction of rupees 50 crore INR or above through it. Branches to contact all the borrowers having aggregate exposure of rupees 5 crore and above from the entire banking system and obtain the LEI number. LEI number thus obtained shall be entered in CBS. No new account except individuals or government, whether the aggregate exposure of the borrower is rupees 5 crore and above, be allowed to be opened in the system unless there is a valid LEI number and the same is entered in the system. Disbursements increase in limit restructuring to be allowed for the eligible borrowers in CBS except individual or government only if valid LEI is already available in the system. LEI number to be made part of credit audit, loan review mechanism of eligible accounts, and audit not to be closed unless LEI number is made available held on record. No credit facilities except individuals or government to be sanctioned, renewed, reviewed at all levels unless there is a valid LEI number. As per instructions of RBI, it has been decided that non-individual borrowers enjoying aggregate exposure of rupees 5 crore and above from banks and financial institutions shall be required to obtain LEI codes as per given timeline. Exposure for this purpose shall include all fund-based and non-fund-based, including credit and investment, exposure of banks and financial institutions to the borrower, aggregate sanction limit or outstanding balance, whichever is higher, shall be reckoned for the purpose of obtaining LEI. The given table is reflecting timelines for obtaining LEI as per the guidelines of Reserve Bank of India. If the total exposure is above 25 crore, the timeline is 30th April 2023. LEI to be obtained on or before. In case of above 10 crore and up to 25 crore exposure, the timeline for obtaining LEI is 30th April 2024, and in case of exposure is rupees 5 crore and above and up to 10 crore, LEI to be obtained on or before 30th April 2025. Hope you have learned about LEI. Happy learning and thank you.